All right. I apologize, you guys. This is one of those days that things just go haywire. How's everybody doing? Thank you for waiting. I hope you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the comment section if you can hear me, if I'm too loud or too low. All right. How's everybody doing? What's up, Alora? How are you? Josiah's on. Nate is on. What's up, Jay? What's up, guys? So, this um interview was supposed to be um not in person. It's actually going to be in person. So, the interviewee had audio issues, and it just so happens that she's actually my neighbor. So, I invited her over, and she's here. In about maybe 5 to 10 seconds, I'm gonna ask her to roll on over. She's got her own rolling chair. She's gonna roll over. Her name is Ashley, everyone. And without further ado, Ashley, come on over, roll on over. There you go. You backwards is perfect. All right. So this is what we get when we are not that rich and we have to like just deal with what we got. All right, so I'm gonna actually have the mic a little closer to her because she's more important than me. But Ashley and I go way back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we. I think there was like a time that. Well, there. I don't think there was a time where everything you just went from being in the organization,
Oh yeah.
and then all of a sudden from day to night, like you were just gone.
Yeah.
And I ended up being in the organization still for another maybe I don't know 5 to 6 years after you left.
Yeah. It's been 10 years for me.
10 years.
So
All right. So I'm gonna hand the mic over to her. I'm gonna ask her a few things, and she'll just take it on from there. So I'm gonna leave that right there. So
alright.
Ashley, so tell me. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do my little thing. So this is not scripted, correct?
No.
All right, definitely not scripted. This is
No.
so random. I'm sorry. I know the camera's up there,
Yeah.
but you guys are down here as well. That's why I'm like going
Yeah.
up and down. All right, so Ashley,
Yes.
what is up?
Nothing much. That was a lot of hecticness
Yes, it
beforehand.
was pretty crazy. So we're kind of like family in a
Oh yeah, we
way.
call each other cousins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like I don't know if this is the same story, but my father is family with
My uncle's wife.
yes. So and then now marriage plays a part. So
Yeah.
like now there's no marriage involved, I guess, because your mom is not. I don't know. It's confusing. I lost myself. But anyway, so I don't know a lot about your story. Now, were
Right.
you born and raised in the
Yes.
organization? You were born and
Yes.
raised in the organization. Yeah, 'cause
I'm third generation.
you're third generation.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So tell me, how was it? How was your childhood growing up in the organization?
It was actually really good. I had a really great childhood.
That's what most say. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was good and dandy. I think usually for most people, maybe the reason why it goes a little bit sour once you're older is because you start to realize things, and when you're a
Mm,
kid, you're
yeah, right.
a little naive to things, and
Yeah, and I guess a lot of people say that it's a good thing, or they had great childhoods because the organization tries to play the safe haven, I guess you can say, where
yeah,
like you stay away from all the bad, like you stay away from drugs, you stay away from peer
mhm,
pressure and all that stuff.
yeah,
Actually, they actually induce peer pressure because you have to be the goody goody. You
oh,
can't you
all the
can't salute the
time.
flag, you can't smoke,
Nope.
and then you get the peer pressure. You get the peer pressure because they prohibit those
Oh
things.
yeah, for sure. I remember one time when I was in kindergarten, actually,
Hmm.
uh, since we can't salute the flag,
Hmm.
that actually had happened to me once where I had refused to even stand up for it,
Okay.
and my teacher was furious. She got so angry to the point where she forced me to stand up and forced my hand on my heart.
Are you kidding
And
me?
yeah, well, my parents did not have a good time. They did not like that one, but
And
yeah.
I'm sure your dad didn't like that because
No.
her dad is an elder,
Was.
was an
Yeah.
elder, and he was a tough cookie. Like
Yeah.
I was intimidated and scared at the same time. That guy is like, he's the elder that, I mean, he's a really cool guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's really fun. He was really, but now that we're out, how's that relationship?
We're not as close as we used to be. Um, he's uh, very much still in, obviously. And uh, it's something that he's very passionate about.
Okay.
I totally respect that. It's his beliefs. It's totally okay. I'm sure if I were to reach out to him, he'd be there for me. We'd talk. It's about as close as we can be with the organization's rules.
Okay. Right. Um, Now, how about we go back a little bit and we discuss, were there any challenges that you had to face growing up
Um, well,
other than the saluting the flag and stuff?
being an elder's daughter was really tough.
That's what I figured you did.
The hardest part about it was always being told that you had to be an example, that you had to watch your reputation. Reputation was what I was always told, and the pressures of always being perfect
Yeah.
got a little tough.
I figured that. And your mom as well. I'm sure as a wife to an elder, she also had to live up to.
Yeah. Well, she was on and off a regular pioneer, so
Okay. All right. And your parents are both still in the
yes.
truth.
Yes.
Right?
They
Yeah.
are. That's about-
Always got to do the quotations, guys, because I still get used to calling it the truth.
I do too.
Yeah, you see. So what happened? Why did we drift apart? Like why when did you disappear and why?
So, I had a relationship with someone for about 3 years. And obviously, you can't have sex before marriage. On about the third year we dated, obviously, we had done it. And it ended up coming out. And so they took about 2 weeks to decide whether or not I was going to be disfellowshipped.
2 weeks.
Yeah. And once they did decide, it did happen. Obviously, I'm disfellowshipped now. I left, and then I never really returned, only because at that point in time, I was already kind of questioning everything. There was a lot of things I disagreed with, like the way they feel about gay people, or how they go about dating even, and how that can affect you, or just keeping you sheltered altogether can be a little difficult. It's
Right.
it gets to you eventually.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And it can also be sometimes, the people can tend to be a little judgmental because you have to pick and choose who are good association and all that, and so there's a lot of judgment going on a lot of the time.
And the biggest problem, I think, when one is either disfellowshipped or on the fence of getting disfellowshipped is your reputation.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the Bible clearly in Matthew 18, Jesus he's very specific on what you have to do. And part of that instruction is to seek the congregation and have them make a universal decision.
Yeah.
But we have three guys making all the decisions, and then they don't even tell the congregation what your sin was. Now, I understand you don't want to tell anybody what your sin is, but the problem is, I feel
they
like
speculate.
yes,
Yeah.
and like you will be labeled if you just had sex. You'll be labeled as you'll be in the same category as someone who murdered somebody, someone who robbed a bank. Like there's no, like you are the sinner. Like
Yeah, and once it happens, even if you do come back, there's always kind of like this caution that they have towards you, because I mean, some people are very good about it when you come back. They'll be very welcoming, but others are not as, they keep their distance. They'll say hi and be nice, but they're not necessarily thinking of you as good association.
Yeah.
Right away, anyway.
Yeah, that's the worst part. And then you had to lose your entire community of friends.
Yeah.
Did anybody at least try to reach out to say, hey, hi?
Yes, yes. I had my best friend reached out to me afterward. Almost
Okay.
said her name.
No,
Yeah.
right.
She reached out to me for a few years. Sometimes randomly we'll say hi to each other and stuff. But she's about the only one who ever really reached out to me afterward.
Yeah. Oops, sorry. And
It's okay.
I
You
not,
always get gassy during it.
I'm so glad you actually watched my live.
Yeah, I
See?
do.
This is a faithful subscriber. So, let's backtrack a little bit. So
Yes.
when did you get baptized?
16. So
At 16.
what had happened was I went to my parents and told them that I wanted to get baptized. They didn't feel I was ready, and they were right. But
Never say that.
but the I was very determined at the time. So when the circuit overseer had came, it was oh my gosh, he was my favorite one too. I went preaching with his wife, door to door, and I told her that my parents weren't letting me get baptized.
Okay.
And
Wow.
so they ended up, both of them, going up to my parents and saying that they didn't have the right to tell me I couldn't, and then eventually they said, okay, you can, but you know what you're getting yourself into. So
Wow. You
I know.
just put your parents in what we like to call the cuartito.
Yeah.
It's like the back room. You know, when you're in the back room, it's gonna be bad. So you put your parents like technically in a back room, but obviously, they visited their house and they spoke to them.
I think it was during a meeting.
Oh, so they go to the back
Yeah.
room. Okay. So so you were determined to get baptized. What
I
was
was.
what was your driving force to get baptized?
At that time, I was a very spiritual person. I loved everything about the religion, and I was very happy to be in it. I believed in it so strongly that I was just determined. I don't know.
Right.
It was just something I believed in.
And you had, I would say, a routine to
Yeah.
follow. So like, and I'm sure as an elder's daughter,
Yeah.
you were studying every day, it was just nonstop.
I mean, I was supposed to. I wasn't very good at it. But
Okay.
but thankfully, my parents weren't too, like, strict when it came to, like, you have to make sure you study to, like, every single detail to the point. My parents were more the type to say, well, if you have, like, a question or anything, do your research,
Oh, okay.
figure it out. But as long as I knew what was going on, they were pretty happy. The things they were more strict about was, like going out, who I was with, what time I would be home, things like that. What I
Okay.
was doing, what I could and couldn't do,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I guess that's normal.
Yeah.
And when they asked you about looking up and doing your own research,
Yes.
here you are doing your research, and now they're not talking to you because you left.
Yeah.
You got this fellowship, and you decided not to come back.
Yeah.
So, what was it that just said, I'm not coming back?
Oh, gosh. I think the nail in the coffin was some drama had happened when I left.
Drama. There's always
Yeah,
there's
always drama.
drama in an organization.
And a lot of stuff got mixed up, and there was this one family that decided to throw me kind of under the bus with lies to try and get someone in their family not to look bad.
Oh.
And they said that I got someone disfellowship when really it had nothing to do with me.
Wow.
And then they spread it throughout everywhere, every state, every Puerto Rico, wherever they knew people. And I got a lot of death threats.
Wow.
So it was just something that I
I do remember you mentioning about a death threat.
Yeah.
A death threat once.
yeah.
That's.
Which was coming from witnesses
Exactly.
themselves. Yeah.
This is coming from witnesses, and see, that's okay. For those of you who are PMO or have never been a witness, right? Witnesses they're pictured as these good holy people. They don't swear.
No.
They don't. Um, well, they preach all the time about
Yeah.
how about not putting somebody down.
You're never supposed to judge people.
Can't judge
You're
nobody.
supposed to love everyone always.
And I know when I started doing YouTube and I was watching other YouTubers, the most the most viewers that are on in the XJW community are witnesses. And you know, and you can distinguish between a witness and a regular XJW from the way they speak
Yeah.
to us.
Yeah.
The way they criticize you, the way they talk bad to you. They're all about you're gonna burn in hell, you're gonna die a fiery death,
Yeah.
Jehovah's gonna throw fireballs at you.
But-
That's just so normal. And it's crazy and kooky to me to think that we used to worship a God that was so loving, and we're supposed to be loving people, yet behind the scenes, this is where the whole wolf in sheep's clothing comes in.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of families were very two-faced.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Two-faced.
Oh yeah.
And I already know some of the people that you know. You know some of the people that I know that
Yeah.
are two-faced.
Well, we grew up in the same congregation, so
Exactly. That's another thing, you guys. We were in the same. That's why I said she just disappeared.
Yeah.
I remember actually when you got this fellowship, you were tearing up,
Yeah.
and you had. I don't want to say this because there's some people watching right now.
It's okay.
But there were hypocritical people that felt like they mourned with you.
Yeah.
But you can tell that they're just doing it for show.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, for sure. There was definitely a few people that once it was announced, they came to the back and, gave me a hug and were crying. Some of them felt more genuine than others. Some of them kind of felt more like routine, like, oh, I have to show that I'm sad for you. But
and that's actually new, because I know once you disfellowship, a lot of people are quick to just not even talk to you right there and then.
Yeah.
At least you got the
That's true.
the hugs and the whatever.
I actually had one sister that sat with me through it, so
Yeah.
that I wouldn't be alone. Yeah, so that was nice. That was something that was good about
Okay.
it.
Wow. And you have a sister, obviously.
I do.
Yep. She might be watching. And you guys, I say this on my channel a lot. There is this guy that basically started all this for me, and it was the ex-husband of her sister.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yes, so basically it's because of him that I'm here today. Obviously a lot more played into it, the way the elders treated me, all the abuse that I went through, but it was like that spark. Other than, I did go preaching one day.
Yeah.
I had gotten reinstated. I went preaching. I knocked on his door, and then this guy asked me a question, and I'm right there. I was like, yeah, in my head I'm thinking, this doesn't make sense.
It's not going.
Yeah, it's just in no words. So he was like, that's the thing. That's why I say I love the scripture where it says you plant your seed and God lets it grow, whatever. The same applies with if you don't know how to approach somebody or witness on how to wake them up, just something small will be implanted in their brain until eventually they will come out. Somebody saying hi? Oh.
My sister.
She's on. Wait. Okay. There it is. But yeah, that's the key, right? You have to, it doesn't matter how big, how small, that one little thing will eventually hit a witness at a certain point where they're going to revert back to it.
Yeah.
And it's going to come all together. Obviously my waking up had to do with the Holy Spirit and how I didn't see it the way it was supposed to be seen. The way he approached me was about the CSA cases.
Yeah.
Obviously two different things.
Yeah.
But that's my point, right? One little thing is it starts adding up. Things
Oh,
start
yeah.
adding up.
I think that's how it kind of happens to everyone. Because at first, yes, it did have to do with that situation on why I left. But slowly after that, the more I would talk to people outside of the religion, and I started making more friends, and I would tell them about how I grew up. And at the time, I was still trying to talk positive about the religion, because I did have some intentions of maybe going back. but the more I would talk about what I went through or what we teach, or the more they would kind of show me or tell me, like that. Does that make any sense to
It
you?
does.
And
It
it would
does.
kind of, click, like, oh wait, that doesn't make any sense,
Yeah.
so kind of thing. So
Yeah, that's just the way it is, and it's unfortunately like, I mean, it's a good thing that we wake up, obviously.
oh yeah,
But it's funny, Jules, right? You're watching, right? That was that night that we invited you over to the hotel, and you guys started talking to us about like Dinah and stuff. That was the day that he ended up sending me text messages constant. He was very annoying. As a true believer of the Jehovah's Witnesses, I was
oh yeah, you don't want to hear about
no,
it.
I was like, bro, like enough.
Well, that's another thing that they teach. Don't listen to the outside stuff. You don't want to look up anything bad that has to do. Don't look up apostate stuff. Basically, sorry, I don't know if I can swear.
Just say it. We were witnesses for too long. We held back so much profanity.
Oh yeah.
Was,
It took me like a year or two to get
You
used to
still
swearing.
felt
I
weird?
felt it felt wrong. It,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
didn't feel natural.
that's okay.
Now it's all the time. I don't care.
Now I'm sorry. I apologize, you guys. But who was out first? Was it your sister? Or was it
Me.
Oh yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
your both sisters are out, which is a great thing because at least you had, instead of having your mom and your dad to to unpack that stuff with,
Yeah.
you had your sister to talk to.
Yeah.
And who was it that came out first? Was it you? Was it
It
her?
was me.
was you, okay.
I left first, and then she left a few years after me.
Years after.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm off. I could have sworn it felt like the same time, but I know that one of you were out first.
Yeah. It was
Okay.
me. I was 20. I'm 30 now, so yeah.
Okay.
And then I think she was. I think it had to be like around five or so years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you guys communicate right away? Did it take some time?
Honestly, she went out slowly, and I don't even know even if she's disfellowshipped technically.
Okay.
But I do remember us, connecting, and then eventually she ended up. I asked her. I was like, "Oh, are you still trying to go back? Are you?" And then she told me how she felt, and that's how I found out.
Okay.
Basically.
All right. And so you guys obviously have a great relationship now still.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And now,
No,
so
she's not disfellowshipped. Yeah.
yeah, I have a lot of good yeah, she's not disfellowship. I have a lot of good people on today.
Yeah.
Let's say hi to Devin. What's up, Devin?
Hi, Devin.
TMC. What's up, TMC? Chewy? I don't know if I'm saying that right. I got some new people. Look at this is someone new. Takwim. That's okay. Don't worry about it if you're late. What was it? Sorry I'm late, but like everybody has said, I don't have to go to the bathroom. All right, so now I want to talk about your life outside the organization.
Yeah.
So how has it been since you left? Did you? I like to ask this question. Now, this question doesn't mean that I'm telling you it was a good thing that you left, because I'm basically okay. What I'm going to ask you is, do you regret leaving? But obviously, we don't regret it.
No.
But I still have to ask.
At first, I would question it quite a bit. It was hard, not having anybody. You're so sheltered, growing up into, only having friends within the congregation. Only the only time you really associate with anyone else, if you had like I took dance, so the only outside people I would really talk to were people from dance class, but I wasn't allowed to hang out with them outside of dance class or anything like that. So obviously once I left, it was hard because I lost everyone I knew. I had to start all over. I didn't have anyone I could talk to. So that gave me like a little motivation to want to go back, but then once I started making friends, that kind of went away a little bit. And yeah, I don't know.
That's okay. That's okay. I actually, when I started waking up, I started realizing how hard it is. How hard it was to just leave it all behind, have nobody to contact. I was sleeping in my car. Like,
Yeah.
it was just bad. And then I started coming to a realization, all the people that did leave. So I thought about you. I thought about Julissa. I thought, um, a few people. And I'm over here thinking, I wonder how Ashley's been, because it's true. Like, you had to cut everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear from you. Nobody heard from you. Nobody knew what you were doing, where you went. And so what did you have to do to get back on your feet? Because I'm sure there was a time where you were just like, everything was.
My mom was disfellowshipped around the same time I was. Um, so I had gotten disfellowship a few months after she did. So I had ended up moving in with my mom, and then I got a job at Pride. And
Pride gas
yeah,
station.
Pride gas station. I was a
Wow.
Subway girl there.
You're selling
Yeah,
cigarettes.
I was.
That's bad. How dare you? You went from
Giving people cancer.
yeah. Like,
No, but I worked there, and I met people while I worked, basically. Eventually, I ended up meeting a guy, dating him, and I ended up moving in with him. And then eventually, I just kept working until I got my own place, and slowly through that first boyfriend, I made other friends, and then so on and so forth until
Okay.
I finally just got a normal life. But it was hard. It was hard to tell. It's funny to say now, but I didn't know that the world could be such a difficult place, like as difficult
Yeah.
as I would have thought.
right.
I didn't understand how people could be bad people sometimes, like how you could genuinely do bad things and be okay with it. That was something that just I couldn't comprehend, and I was a very trusting person.
Yeah.
So it got me into trouble a lot, but I've definitely learned from that, which is good. But that was one of the things that I did struggle with a long time. I just now feel like I'm starting to get things together after
That's good.
10 years.
Wow. That's good though.
Yeah.
I commend you for it, and
Thank you.
it's because we're not trained to live in this world. We're not trained at all.
Yeah.
It's like you're being thrown. Okay, you remember that homeschool era?
Yeah. Of
We
course,
were-
we're the ones who started it, me and my sister.
That's true.
Yeah.
We were all homes. Like, there was
Yeah.
like 5 different congregations who were homeschooled.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I thought about this. Because,
Yeah, I was homeschooled since I was in first grade.
What?
Yeah. I only went to kindergarten, that's it.
Yeah, because how old are you?
I'm 30.
We're only 4 years apart.
Yeah.
And you were first grade. You were homeschooled since first. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that was like a. I didn't know that, because I thought because when I got homeschooled, like all of us
That's
got
when
homeschooled, so-
yeah, everyone else started like around the same time. But
Okay.
me and my sister started pretty early. And like I know a few others that started around the same time as us too, but
Okay. The reason why I brought it up is because we were talking about how you're not trained, right? And
yeah.
I think about homeschooled, because when we were homeschooled, and I know if you guys were homeschooled in the chat, like, go ahead and feel free to mention if this was you, but a lot of us cheated our way to graduation.
Oh yeah.
So-
Cuz Penn Foster.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't really trained properly.
No.
So I felt like the organization was like being homeschooled.
Yeah.
They don't really teach you what you need to know.
Yeah.
They only teach you what they think is better.
Right. Or
And
how
then-
they interpret scripture.
And you just cheat your way over. Like, and as an elder's daughter,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you just had to say the right things.
Oh yeah.
Without really having like that judgmental, critical thinking side of you. You just I know my dad's gonna like this, so I'm gonna say it. Like, mentality.
Make him happy.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, for sure. I mean, I was a little sneaky when I was little. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like it wasn't anything big, you know, like I would hide in the closet to talk to boys on the phone or something
man.
like that, things like that. But like I never really, uh, for the most part, if my parents asked me something, I would tell them the truth. But there were little things like that that I would hide. But when it came to like scripture stuff, my parents, thankfully, I had some very understanding, very good parents when it came to that kind of stuff. So like I never really had to feel like worried if I didn't know something or if I didn't understand something. For the most part, they were pretty okay with everything when I would ask them things or didn't know something. I mean, if it was something like, did you go over so and so's house alone? And like,
Yeah, the
and if
normal.
I did it, then obviously I would lie about it. But but
Right, right.
other than that, no, I pretty much didn't have to say whatever they wanted or what I thought they wanted. Now, when it came to like meetings or something like that, yeah, obviously I would just like only comment like the
Yeah, I
highlighted
did
stuff,
that too.
and that's all I would really do. I would never really talk in my own words, but we were in the Spanish too, so
Yeah.
it was a little more difficult to talk in my own words at the time.
I I hardly studied.
You really threw yourself though when you would comment.
Yeah, like
Like you really tried.
yeah,
Yeah.
but at the same but that's because I would study at the meeting. I hardly studied at home.
That's funny.
I just studied, and the thing is, when those brothers were passing the microphones, that's when I would stop highlighting.
Oh wow, that's
So-
really cool. Like you just wing
I would
it.
just wing it. Because that's the thing. Like I was always obsessed with the truth, and so if I'm at the meeting and I'm studying, I don't like to just say what's in the paragraph.
Yeah.
I like to like dig, and then say more. I would even find scriptures that don't really.
I mean, that is what you should do, basically.
As
you
a
know.
Bible
Oh,
student.
of course. And you're supposed to. I mean, they tell you to interpret the scripture the way you feel, but you could always tell that when somebody like answered something that wasn't quite what the speaker was looking for, they'd be like, "Oh, thank you." Move on, and they just wouldn't say like, "Oh yeah, you're right on this point," and they'd just
Yeah.
be like, and then they would try to explain what they actually think it should be. But
Yeah.
I always found those things funny. But
I don't remember if you were in the same current. I mean, if you were still around when this sister was at the hall, and I can say her name because this is a Spanish congregation. A lot of people have the same last name, but
Yeah.
Hermana Quiñones.
oh yeah, of course,
Bro,
of course.
she never commented
No.
what the paragraph asked. It was a story. She had to talk about something. She would literally talk about what she went to the store for the day before, what she bought,
I remember. Oh, that was so funny.
why she bought it, and then she'll somehow finish it with God is good. Like, they made no sense whatsoever.
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny.
And
Yeah,
then
her husband was
husband.
just as funny.
Yes, exactly.
Do you remember? Were you there when we went out on service once, and he was in his car and he drove by and rolled down the window and he said, "Remember, only you can prevent fire forest."
Yes, I remember that. Yes, this dude was hilarious,
Oh my
man. I actually had a scare one time
god. Really?
because the meeting finished and we got in our cars, and you know how slow he is.
Yeah.
So he's creating traffic. So we're all exiting the parking lot, and he's the first one. Not the point, but I just wanted to make the point that he was slow. But we get to the light. You know that light that's the Pizza Hut and Wendy's or whatever.
Yeah.
To get out, and the light hit green. It turned green, and he went to leave. As he was doing that, this car racer was just racing down the main road
Oh my god.
and hit his car, and his car just like spun, and the other car just kept spinning, and it was just and I was right behind him.
Yeah.
We all freaked out, like we all
Yeah,
left the
of
car.
course.
We all got out the car to check it, and he was fine. He was laughing, he was joking the whole
Of
time.
course he was. Of course he was.
His wife started telling me a story about the grocery shopping. It just continued. Like they stay.
They're
in
unfazed,
character.
yeah.
They stay in character, bro. That's
It's
not
so
matter.
funny.
But
That was a really funny couple, though.
yes,
I did like them.
He was too much.
Yeah.
And, but
He actually was one of the people who asked me questions to get baptized.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you have any problems answering any of those questions?
I had all my answers written down ahead of time. Because of course, it had to be in Spanish again, and my Spanish at the time was
Español.
not good at all. Like,
Oh, sí.
I could not
Okay.
speak it.
De verdad.
Ahora sí.
Okay.
Ahora sí lo puedo hablar.
Okay, that's good, that's good.
But back then, it was difficult, so I would write my answers in English and then translate them to Spanish and then ask my mom if they
Yeah.
were okay.
Right.
But when I went to go see him, he went completely off script, asked me questions that were not in the book, and then he would bring up a random text and be like, what does John 45:6 say? Go! And I'm like, I don't know.
He would be like, go. He would do
Yeah.
that. I felt like I was talking to I felt like I was in a game show all the time.
Yeah.
He was a character. I had problems with my questions. I had an elder pissed off at me one time.
Really?
You know, you're supposed to go to 3 elders.
Yeah.
You went
Yeah,
to
I got all
elders?
3. Yeah, I got.
Did you get them at the same time or
No, I got separate times.
separate times?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So my 3rd elder was really pissed off. Like, she was-
What were the 3 that you
but,
had?
but this was when I was in the English congregation.
Oh, you got baptized in the English.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yes, I got baptized. And I remember the date and everything. 777. I was lucky.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember the date and everything.
I don't remember the date.
But and you shouldn't.
It's always something that they say though. That's the date
Yeah,
you'll always remember. You gotta
mark
write it in the
down.
book.
Yeah, you gotta write it down everywhere in the Bible.
Mhm.
So, in the organized book too, you gotta write it
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
But yeah, he was really mad because I couldn't answer the blood doctrine. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out like what to say. Like,
Oh.
so I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
but. Yeah, and I moved to the Spanish congregation because I had a crush on a girl.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that.
Of course
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, I remember that. That was bad. And it's funny, okay, your dad was actually one of the guys that broke us up.
No way.
Because it was my fault though. It was our fault. She was a Bible student. She wasn't even
Yeah.
baptized.
Yeah.
She was a Bible student. I decided, as a baptized brother, very wrong. I decided to just hold hands with her and walk down a public road. Just holding hands with her, cuddling with her, kissing her, just walking down the road. And your dad just so happened to be preaching in the area.
Oh
we were in.
no.
And then he just like calls me out on it. I ended up having a meeting with
Oh
the
yeah, my
English
dad
congregation.
is not scared to call people out.
Had a meeting with the English brothers. It was bad.
Yeah, with her.
Like,
She's a part of it too. You should just come upstairs, Julie.
Bro, like,
She
yes,
wouldn't.
yes. She was very short,
Yes.
which was pretty funny.
And tiny. I remember
tiny.
once when the tallest guy in the congregation took her and spun her in a circle, and her.
Oh my gosh, yes. She looked like a little doll, bro.
Yeah.
I remember I got so mad at my brothers, at the English brothers. Obviously, I was in the wrong.
Yeah, well,
Well, I mean,
but they should be more patient. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
like-
what they're supposed to be.
and I already had a bad rep with the elder that I had problems with the questions. So he was part of that meeting.
So it was kind of.
Yeah, so I was kind of annoyed. I mean, I was in the wrong. I wasn't technically in the wrong. I mean, yes, she's a Bible student, and
Yeah.
temptation and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But we're young. Like I was like 15.
You were only holding hands. If you really think about it, that's not really like
I
a.
was doing more than holding hands. So, but anyway, and I think she's out too. Her and her husband,
Yeah.
whatever.
I think. Oh, I don't know, honestly.
I don't even know.
But, yeah.
But the point is, right? Like I moved to the Spanish congregation to get closer to her,
Yeah. And then you had to break up.
Yeah, I was.
You guys never really got back together either.
No, we ended that.
Yeah.
And it was her mom's fault because her mom. It's funny, okay. Her mom was very big on college and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So she's like, my daughter has no time for dating and whatever. She ended up getting with somebody that her mom regretted her getting with.
All right.
One day I was doing parking duty for the memorial, and this is the memorial of Jesus Christ.
The one that just passed.
Yes, they celebrate his death, if you guys didn't know, which is very wrong to say. But anyway, I'm in the parking lot. I'm all dressed up,
Yeah.
real sharp, whatever. And I see this like lady look staring at me, but staring at me hard. And then I ended up walking
Did you
towards
know
her.
who she was?
Yeah, so it was Dolores' mom.
Uh.
So she's just checking me out, and then she touches my hand very soft, and she's like, "You look so sharp tonight." And then she's just like, "I regret telling my daughter not to date you."
Too late.
Be gone. So that was yeah. I moved to Congregation to be with her. Now, I ended up obviously being with somebody else,
Yeah.
and that. Sorry, I'm just. My wife is here. She's oh my gosh. You're right.
She's funny.
So I ended up being with somebody else, obviously, and had a kid with her and everything.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to you, because I'm making this a lot.
No, it's okay.
I miss that time that we would always have people over. You were the
Oh,
one
yeah.
person that you and your sister always had random people
Parties?
from like Connecticut
Oh, yeah.
and all these other places. Josiah was one of them that said
New
that
York.
he would bring people over. Like, it was a great era.
Yeah, it was. That was like the party era. I felt like there was so many parties and get-togethers that like you had to pick and choose which one you wanted to go to at some point. There was at some point because then when everyone started getting married and having graduations and it was all around the same time. So
Wow, it's true.
yeah.
Um,
But I remember always seeing pictures and always getting jealous once I was disfellowship because it was around that time, and I wasn't the first of our generation to get disfellowship, but I was one of the first few. I think I was like the fourth or fifth or
Okay.
something like that. Yeah.
Wow, disfellowshipping, that's such a just a bad, and then the shunning that comes along with it just
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
The shunning is the hardest part for
Right.
sure.
You lose your entire community, and now
Yeah.
it's okay to greet disfellowship people.
Yeah, I
and invite
heard.
them.
I
It's
heard.
such a flip flop. Like,
Oh yeah.
Like this, literally a few months before that, they had Robert Sarenko make a talk saying that not to agree disfellowship, and then now look, it's okay.
Right.
Um,
They always seem to be changing their minds about things.
I actually have a video that I made. It's a minute long.
Okay.
And I wanted to show you. See,
Yeah.
see what your thoughts on it. I'm gonna show you guys as well.
Okay.
It's just a minute long. It's not a big deal, but you guys let me know what you think. It has a lot to do with shunning. This video is not released yet.
Okay.
It's still unlisted. Be careful because I'm very sexy in this video.
Oh.
I'm very good looking.
I'll
in this
try. I'll
video.
try to handle it.
Yes. I'm what you call a I don't know what girls call a hunk, I guess.
Hunk.
All right, you guys. I'm gonna show this video for you guys. Let me get it on here. Oh, I gotta pause it.
Oh, I like the hair.
You like the hair,
Yeah,
right?
down,
Yes.
dark.
Okay, so I'm gonna share it for you guys right now. Give me a second. All right, there's so many I have so many tabs.
Yeah.
open.
How do you
Alright.
keep track of
I
those?
don't ask. All right, so here it is, guys. I hope you guys enjoy. All right.
Well, let's talk about the disfellowshipping arrangement.
Oh
no.
I started already. Hold on, you guys. Hold on.
I think Ben saw you.
I want to. Oh, he did.
Saw you doing this. Yeah.
I want to ask you guys real quick. Do you guys heard it and saw it, right? Is the show? Does it? You guys can hear it? Okay. Oh man, yes.
That's a good one.
That is a very good one. Thank you, Thrifty. All right, I'm gonna play it for you guys. Here we go. I just want to make sure the volume is up. It's just because I couldn't hear it. I want to make sure you guys heard it. All right, here we go.
Well, let's talk about the disfellowshipping arrangement. Stop keeping company with them, not even eating with him. Do not receive him into your homes.
Give me a second. I'm sorry, you guys. She can't hear it. See, this is why. Hold on a second. Let me take this off. All right. Here we go. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry, guys. All right, so I'm gonna put this on my MacBook speaker so you can hear it. And then I'm going to mute ourselves so that they don't hear us. All right. You guys ready? You guys ready? All right.
Well, let's talk about the disfellowshipping arrangement.
Good song choice.
Stop keeping company with them, not even eating with them. Do not receive him into your homes or say a greeting to him. Now, our loyalty is on the line, not to the disfellowshippers, but to God, who is watching to see whether we will abide by his command.
You must understand, the touch of your hand makes my pulse react.
Whoa.
That it's only the thrill of boy meeting girl opposites attract. It's physical, only logical.
Some of Jehovah's people may think this is too drastic.
You must try to ignore that it means more than that. Oh, what's love got to do? Got to do with
Disfellowshipping.
what's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do? Got to do with
Disfellowshipping.
your heart when a heart can be broken.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's too good.
Oh my gosh,
I'm
yes.
dying.
Yep.
Disfellowshipping.
Disfellowshipping. Oh, I hope you guys were able to see that. That was funny.
That was hilarious.
Oh man. So I did that. You guys can hear, right? So I did that this morning actually.
Yeah.
That's why I still got the jacket on.
Ben had seen you, and he's like, I think he's like setting up outside.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the headphones in so that I can hear us
Oh, yeah,
talking.
yeah.
Because I can't even tell if we're talking or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were. Oh, thank you. Give me a second. Yeah, it was this morning. I'm still working on it. I'll probably release it later or something.
Yeah.
But my point was that because this fellowshipping, they say that it's a loving arrangement from Jehovah, but there's no love in that at all. No, shunning is not loving.
I mean, they say that it's in order to give you motivation to want to go back. But
Yeah, they flat out say.
if anything, it's what made me not go back. Feeling so alone
good
all the
for
time. It's hard to try and go back when you're all alone, and you know, going back to the meetings and having to sit there and then go in early, leave early, not be able to talk to anyone. You have absolutely no one to kind of push you to keep going, and so I completely lost.
I know. Oh, look at that. He says that Ben should just join and dance too. He should have, man. I'm surprised he didn't text me like, bro, what are you doing? I was expecting at least somebody to come out and be like, bro, there is this old guy. When I had my camera stationed on the sidewalk and I'm walking from the sidewalk to the camera,
Yeah.
this old guy was walking his dog and he was behind me. It didn't show in the shot because I was laughing the whole time. And he's walking behind me. And then as soon as he got close to me, he literally just turned around and walked the other way. I'm sure he was...
Oh, he was probably trying to figure out what the heck you're
he's
doing.
like, oh, I gotta get out of here.
That's too funny.
I was expecting someone to be like, bro, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
the cops show up or something. But,
No, he probably was just thinking it's for a video or something.
dude, I was nervous. I was really, really nervous. The fact that I'm outside my house. Now everybody's gonna know who I am. They're gonna think I'm some weird goof.
Just dancing, hair flip.
I know. There was a few takes. So it's like I had to redo the same thing. But yeah.
It was worth it though.
It was, yeah. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys loved it. So anyway, we're getting close to the end of this interview. I wanted to ask, so now with the fellowshipping and shutting out the way,
Yes.
now that you say you're living a gooder life,
Better.
a
Yeah.
better life. Is there something that you could, any advice that you can give anybody that are thinking about leaving but they're scared? Anything at all, even if it means, I don't know, keeping a personal diary and writing in it. It doesn't matter.
Really, if you have any sort of questions on whether or not that you really believe in being a Jehovah's Witness or not, even if you have even like the slightest doubt, really go into that. Figure out why it is that you don't believe in it. Do the research on it and let that do the talking, because that alone will do it for you.
Feed the hunger.
Yeah. And just trust your instincts, basically. It's always right for the most part.
Right, and always remember, you thinking outside the box doesn't mean that you're crazy. Doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong, because the Bible itself says to test all things. And if you're putting things to the test, they really can't be mad at you. I mean, there will come the
There
sunning and
should
all
be
that,
no
but-
reason why they would be scared for you to look anything up if they're telling the truth.
Right. If it's the truth, it should be able to defend itself and not be so defensive. And I mean, I say this all the time. Like, you're one person out of 8 million people. I say this all the time. I know it's annoying, but it's true, because you're one person out of 8 million people that literally left. Instead of seeing it as someone who is crazy, look at it as you are a special person in a good way. Like, you're incredibly smart. You're special, and that's what we are. That's what all the XJW people in the community right now. We are all smart. We're all great people, and if you decide to choose your own path, I don't like to talk about everyone's spiritual journey on my channel, because it's all personal stuff, and I'm not gonna do it with you.
I don't-
But regardless, whatever journey you're on, it's always okay. You find your own path.
Oh yeah.
I always tell people to read the Bible to prove them wrong, and then when you leave, you decide what to do after that. And your spiritual journey is your spiritual journey.
Or even if you're afraid to even confront them about it or tell them why you want to leave, you don't owe them any explanation. You can
Yeah.
leave if you want to leave. And
A lot of people decide to write dissociation letters, letters of dissociation, which is pretty much like you're telling them you don't want to meet with them and you're done, just to leave you alone. Basically, that's what some people take that route.
yeah.
I don't know if that's what your sister did or not, or she
I don't
just
think so. I think she
disappeared.
just disappeared.
She's just like, yeah, I'm done. I wrote a letter that I wanted to make, but I never really sent it. I don't even know if I'm disfellowship right now.
You don't know?
I don't know. Like, someone told me a little while back that I was disfellowshipped,
Yeah.
and I reached out to the elders, and I asked. I was like, "Am I disfellowshipped?" And that was the reason why I asked, was because I was secretly doing YouTube, and I didn't want my parents to know that I was doing YouTube.
Yeah.
So I didn't want them to know that I was an apostate or disfellowship. So I was trying to keep everything like.
Under wraps.
So I asked them, and I was like, am I disfellowship? Because if I am, you gotta clear that, because whatever. And they told me, oh no, you're not disfellowship. So it turns out that
Oh.
I have a couple. I have my best friend
Yeah.
tell people that I'm an apostate. So that's what made things worse,
Ah.
and why they don't talk to me now. But it's
They
surprising.
technically can't unless they talk to
Right.
you.
That's what I'm saying. They can't disfellowship you unless they talk to you. So I guess, I don't care, but it's their whole policy, their whole arrangement on disfellowshipping is
Yeah,
just
it's a little
weird.
wacky.
It's
yeah.
everything is messed up.
Even with me, I obviously, with the guy I was dating at the time, we had sex, but we went to 2 different congregations. So we had 2 different meetings with the elders.
Oh, okay.
And the only reason I really got disfellowship was because they wanted to, from what they told me, they said, we don't want to disfellowship you, but we talked to his elders, and his elders have decided to disfellowship him, and we want to make sure it's fair.
What?
And that was really the only reason why they wanted to reprove me.
Wow, my wife and I, when we kicked the bucket, because we liked each other, her elders hit her up and said, "We're disfellowshipping you," even though she was sad about it, and
Yeah.
she told on herself.
Right away, yeah.
They said, "Well, the reason why we're disfellowshipping you is because you seem to not learn from your mistakes."
Oh.
Pretty much the same thing Malia went through in my last interview. If you guys caught that, she said the same thing. Like, they said, because you don't learn from, you seem to not learn from your mistakes, or you seem to have a pattern, so
Yeah.
we're gonna disfellowship you. My elders did the same thing, but they disfellowshipped me because I simply wanted to have a relationship with her. It didn't necessarily mean I wanted to date her. I just
Yeah.
wanted to have a friendship with her.
Yeah.
And they
And
told me
they
no.
said you couldn't?
No, and she wasn't disfellowship yet. They just didn't want me to have any relationship with her. And they said, "No, we're gonna disfellowship you because you can either not talk to her anymore and you'll be fine, or if you're gonna continue talking to her, we have to disfellowship you."
That's crazy.
So I'm like, wow, okay. They literally said, "We understand, you had a breakup, whatever,
Yeah.
and your emotions are all over the place. But if you're gonna continue talking to this girl, we have to discuss it."
Well, that's the thing. They should be the least judgmental. I mean, that's somebody in that kind of position shouldn't be judgmental because they have to make a lot of decisions like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's really no way of knowing what's in someone's heart and how they actually felt about doing something.
Right.
And usually, if somebody feels sorry about something and they confess to it, more than likely they do actually feel bad about it.
That's that word repentance, I feel should still apply the minute you decide you want to talk to the others.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It shouldn't have to be where you have to open up and express yourself.
Yeah.
If
you're going out of your way just to
Right.
tell this secret you don't want anybody to know because you know you're going to get in trouble.
If you're literally sitting on your bed right now and you're saying to yourself, "Damn, I messed up. I'm going to talk to the brothers because I feel bad and I'm sorry, Jehovah."
Yeah.
You already repented right there.
Yeah.
There is no
yeah,
need
for
for
sure.
you. Like,
For you to have to tell 3 men in a room alone.
yeah, exactly. And the thing is, the new elders manual right now, it literally states like there's no point. It doesn't matter if you're repentant or not. Like you will be disfellowshipped. You have to have a really good story.
It basically just depends on the...
It depends on the sin
That's
and
crazy.
action. If you moaned during sex, if you moaned, you're
They do ask a
you're-
lot of personal questions.
it's very
A
bad.
lot.
It's really bad. So if you are a PMO and you've decided to commit some sin, lie to the brothers, do something. Don't tell them.
Or just leave
heard-
if you don't want to stay.
I don't know who I was watching. I think it was some YouTube channel maybe. Or somebody mentioned it. Who was it that mentioned it? Somebody said that they lied to the elders about what sin they did and got away with it. And that's how the other person got to prove the Holy Spirit is just a lie.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, guess it again. I think it's this beer I'm drinking. Guys, I'm drinking natural ice. Have you heard of that? This is my first time drinking. Did you drink? Have you drank this?
No, I haven't.
You want some? Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
It smells like alcohol now. Anyway, guys, I think, should we end it? Is there anything else you want to mention?
No, I think I'm good.
You good? Well, guys, I appreciate you guys stopping by. I'm going to check out the chat and see what you guys are up to right now. If there's any questions, anybody have any questions, then... Really, Jackie? Is it that bad? I don't think it's that bad. I mean...
It's not that bad. I just made a face because I don't drink beer.
It's because it's light beer.
Yeah.
That's why. Oh, my gosh. I'm going to your house, bro, and I'm going to buy you...
Hi.
Hi.
Oh no, I'm talking. I'm trying to talk to. Yeah, there.
Yeah, there you go. I like drinking light beer. I'm a light beer kind of guy. I'll drink like the Guinness or like
Yeah.
anything strong like that, but I'm not a big fan.
I can't do beer. It's well, I used to be able to drink like beer all the time. I mostly drink what is it? I forget what it's called now, but Now I mostly just do mixed drinks. That's all I can
Oh,
really.
you're such a girl.
I am.
Little mixed
Girly
drinks.
girl.
Jeez. All right, guys. Thank you for joining. If you didn't catch last week's interview with Malia, please check that in my list of videos.
Yeah, that was good.
This is Ashley, my very good friend, cousin, family, however you want to look at it.
Yes.
And we are going to check you guys out. I hope you guys have a good night. And that's all I have to say. Is
Me
there nothing you have to add?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I apologize for the weirdness and the audio issues.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Maybe Jehovah's mad at us right now. So we're going through issues.
Yeah.
Anyway, catch you guys later.
Bye.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.